Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I want to talk about Aristocrats slash Plarium slash Raids most recent fiscal year-end results. They just released the results to shareholders November 15th, which is today. So I want to do a quick overview about the results, how it affects Plarium, what this means ultimately for Raid, and yeah, we'll dive into some of the details in this video. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so first I want to preface by saying I'm not a financial analyst or anything like that. I'm really looking at this for a interest entertainment kind of standpoint. So I just want to digest some of this material with you guys. I did go over the details already, so I do have an idea of what to expect. So I just want to share you guys my interpretation of the data that is presented to us here in this shareholders results. So basically from this, we can tell that Plarium, who is actually a company owned by a larger group of companies, I guess it's called Aristocrat. So that's the overarching name that owns all of these different companies. So Raid is produced by Plarium, which is owned by Aristocrat. So Aristocrat, as you can clearly see from these details here, these result highlights, they're actually doing extremely well. The revenue across the board is up 13%. Their net profit is up almost 21%. And yeah, generally they are very confident and they're looking very good. So that's a good thing for the future of Raid in terms of keeping the lights on and keeping the game going, for example. So for those that don't know, Aristocrat actually is they actually are a casino type of company. They focus mainly on the physical machines, like slot machines and game machines for casinos and gaming establishments. So you can see here, Aristocrat Gaming is actually that portion of that business where it's like the physical machines. So they actually make most of their revenue from selling, leasing, servicing, these machines to establishments. So 58% of their total revenue comes from Aristocrat Gaming, whereas 42% come from Pixel United, which is their portfolio of games that they, obviously have under their umbrella. Raid Shadow Legends belongs in that Pixel United part, so they are a big chunk of that 42% total revenue take. Just a quick glance here at their total financials here. Their revenues, earnings are all up for the year. They do mention quickly that Pixel United has been, there was a decline. However, it did stabilize. They mention things like associated costs with the war, removing themselves from Russia, that did impact their bottom line. So these are all reasonable things that make sense, of course. But you can see that the company as a whole is doing extremely well. Here's a quick look at their growth model. So you can see year over year, we have 22, 22, 23, 23. So we can see they're increasing in terms of spending for design and development, user acquisition. So you can see they're still investing their money into growing, of course. So they're spending roughly the same amount every year. This year in particular, they probably overspent a little bit, and they do mention that they will pull back some money from this department where they were not going to spend as much for user acquisition. So just something to keep in mind. How that relates to Raid, they might not have like as much marketing budget, for example. They might not be reaching out as often to try to engage new customers and not to try to acquire new customers. So we could maybe see that trickle down effect into Raid, but so far, it doesn't seem like it's missed a blip. Let's say missed a beat. It hasn't missed a beat that I can feel anyway. So, quick look at Aristocrat Gaming. Like I said, this is their machines part of their business. It's just massive gains here. 17% up, 40% up total sales. Yeah, just huge gains from this department, Aristocrat Gaming. So, very strong performing part of their business. You will see how this is relevant, especially when we compare this to their gaming part of their business. So here is the gaming part of their business, Pixel United. So like I said, this is the portfolio of all their games. So like Vikings, Mech Arena, Raid obviously is in here. So there's a lot of things going on in this portfolio, but we can see a lot of red arrows, meaning that their earnings and overall profitability has been going down ever so slightly. You can see the percentage change is actually quite small, just a couple point percentage. They mentioned that overall revenues are down about 4%. They mentioned exiting Russia obviously cost them roughly about 3% of their total revenues. But however, they do have some positive things to say. Basically, they're saying that things have stabilized. The performance has been steady. So everything, to them, it still seems like everything's running quite good. They still hold #1 records in various areas. So this includes this includes various things like there's online slot games, so their mobile slot games, for example. Moving on to our next slide, this is just a visualization of how much total revenue they actually acquired over the past 6 years here. So you can see how the market annual growth rate is about 8%, and Pixel United has been growing at 12% per year for the last 6 years. So they actually have been doing quite well. You can see that during the pandemic, so 2021, for example, the growth was extremely high, and now it's coming back down to earth in 2023. So you can see here in 2021, 2022 is relatively stable, and then 2023 we see a small dip in total revenues. So revenues are coming down a little bit in this kind of segment in their business. So like the gaming business, the mobile gaming business, makes sense since, of course, during COVID, people would have reached for their phones, stayed more time on their phones, for example, spend more money on their phones. All that stuff makes sense. However, they're saying that it's not a natural, it is a natural decline, but they're not too worried because they're saying that it's just going back to pre-COVID levels. So we could see continued decline, or we could see just maintaining this steady total revenue. So we're not too sure right now. See, in 2020, there's only $1.6 billion in revenue. 2023 is still 1.8 billion, very slightly less than the year before, which was very slightly less than the year before that. So currently, Pixel United is still doing extremely well. So you can see here, Plarium's been extremely busy. They have other divisions and acquisitions that have been going on. It's not Plarium, but Aristocrat. But so Plarium and Raid in general is just, they're a big part of their overall portfolio. However, there's many things going on for Aristocrat right now. So they're trying to enter more real money games. Not exactly sure what that means, but they're acquiring businesses that can help them develop and enter new markets. So they're definitely investing a lot of money into acquisitions and getting the talent and resources for them to expand in this way. So they have a lot of things going on, and it's definitely focused around gaming and the real money spending type games. So as we know, right? So how does this look? General outlook, they're very confident. They say Aristocrat has continual market share, revenue, and profit growth for Aristocrat Gaming. Possible moderation in consumer spending in key markets. Pixel United has disciplined execution in Pixel United. Okay, so this is where it's more Raid relevant. Disciplined execution in Pixel United with a focus on market share. So they want to make sure that Raid, if I were to assume what this means for Raid, is like they want to focus on maintaining that Raid keeps that giant market share that Raid has, because we know that Raid is a super successful game in the genre that they're in, and no one can really touch it right now. So, and they want to make sure that investment efficiency to maintain it momentum. So whatever they invest into the game, they want to make sure that it is providing positive feedback for their bottom line, of course. So, and then they talk about their other two acquisitions and their what they have going on with Anaxi and Neo Games. So all right, so what does it look like for 2024? So some key things here is that they want to dial back design and development from the current 12 and 13% of total revenue to about 11 to 12%, but it's expected to be 12 to 13%. So it's going to be slightly higher than what they want, but yeah. So Pixel United here is a big one. So user acquisition, the spending for user acquisition is expected to be 24-27%, which is below the range and more reflective of pre-COVID levels. So they're bringing down the money that they spend to acquire new users. this could mean like marketing. This could be marketing, trying to get the word out there to the masses to get people to come play. This could mean less login champions, less promos. The overall pullback in spending isn't super relevant, so I would say for the average person in Raid, this would probably not even register at all. So, all right. So in this slide, they're basically showing a quick snapshot of Aristocrat Gaming. Like I said, this is the physical machine part of their business. Up 22% total revenue, 22% in profit. It's just, yeah, very, very strong numbers. They're leading North America in terms of gaming operations. So you can definitely see that they're doing quite well. Yeah, so when you enter, like, for example, I'm thinking like casinos, slot machines, so certain games in slot machines or certain, machines in the casinos have different games. They're like slot machines, but they're not really slot machines. They're just like games nowadays that, But anyways, this segment is extremely strong performing for them, and they're making a ton of money. So, all right. So here is probably the most relevant part to Raid. It's Pixel United. You can see Pixel United has lost about 4% in total revenue, about 6% in total profit. They're saying that they have a strong, diverse portfolio. So, their portfolio of games, there's lots of different games, which is true. They do have different games. Exposed to attractive segments, which is true. Raid dominates their genre and leading market share in social slots. So that's another game that they have. Targeted investment in live ops, features, content, and user acquisition to drive long-term profitable growth. So overall, from this little blip here, they're putting their investment in features, content, user acquisition to maintain long-term profitable growth. I mean, that sounds all good. Hopefully, that probably just means that they probably see Raid as, or games in their portfolio for Pixel United having, a long shelf life. And so they want to maintain that. So they're going to invest in that. That's good. That's good if you want to play this game long term, right? That means this game's going to be here for a long time. They see it as a worthy investment and so forth, right? Maintaining leadership in social slots. So that's a game that they have. They're resilient in softer markets. Here, strengthening and diversifying portfolio with increasing monetization. Look at this, guys. Raid Shadow Legends bookings, $417 million, and Raid Shadow Legends will fit under this little note here. Strengthening and diversifying portfolio with increasing monetization. I don't know if you strengthen and diversify portfolio by increasing monetization. So I'm not 100% sure what that actually means. If you guys have a better interpretation, let me know in the comments below. But I know exactly what increasing monetization means. There's going to be more ways that Plarium's going to jam into this game for Raid, at least from what I'm reading, that they're going to try to make money off of. And fair enough, right? Like they are in profit mode as of they declared that last year. So this year is probably no different, but they're actually saying increasing monetization. So maybe last year profit mode was not enough and they're looking to increase more because they're starting to lose a little bit of their revenues and total profits from Pixel United. So in this whole gaming segment, they're probably looking to increase profitability and monetization in their big titles. So just to maintain these numbers, right? So Raid Shadow Legends 417 million total bookings. I wasn't able to find total bookings from last year. The only number I found from last year was a total of 630 million total bookings for the RPG genre. So I think Raid Shadow Legends is part of the RPG genre in the Pixel United portfolio. But you'll see from the next slide here, I believe, yes, that Pixel United heavily relies on Raid Shadow Legends. So Raid Shadow Legends is here in purple, 24% of all of the total bookings. So these are purchases made in game is made from Raid Shadow Legends. So, they make up a big chunk of the total, profitability of Pixel United. So if Raid Shadow Legend falls, that's a huge segment to be huge game to be removed from this portfolio. And so far, not many are catching up. I think Lightning Link is a type of slot game. So 17, it's definitely rising. We just read that their slot machine games are actually doing quite well. So, and then you have Cashman Casino here, 13%, Big Fish Casino. So you got like more of these like, casino spending type games here, right? But Raid Shadow Legends here, 24%, still massive producer of dollars for Pixel United. I mean, what this means is basically, and we see here actually 21 to 2021, 2022, 2023, we see a small decline in overall bookings for Raid Shadow Legends. This could mean, just natural like regression. Also means like COVID and stuff like that, natural less spending. However, you have titles like Lightning Link going from 13, 16, 17. So they're actually increasing. And we know that Lightning Link is a slot machine type game. So it's interesting. Not too sure how to explain that thoroughly, but it's interesting to see everything here. And like I said, this doesn't mean that it's doom and gloom for Pixel United or anything like that. Like I said, this could just, their revenues are still high. It's showing very small dips. And there's no reason to, doubt that they'll maintain relatively similar revenues for the year to come. All right, so that's going to be it for the shareholder results. I'm going to bring it back to this slide here since it's probably the most relevant to Raid Shadow Legends. And I'll leave you guys with a closing thought. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think is the future for this game, what you guys think the outcome or the outlook, looks like for this game. Because to me, just looking at this overall presentation, I'm seeing more focus towards obviously slot machine or casino type games as opposed to developing more games with monetization in it. To me, it feels like they want to basically extract maximum dollars from their top titles while focusing their resources into other type of casino type games, like monetary spending games. So that's kind of what it feels like to me. There's nothing too blatant, but I kind of see like the small little shift here and there. Like you see that most of their money is earned from physical slot machine games, and you see the growth heading towards like slot machine mobile games, for example. So anyways, guys, that's just my interpretation. Like I said, I'm not a shareholder analyst. I don't do data analyst or anything like that. This just interests me because I do work in the rough industry. But yeah, and obviously Raid Shadow Legends is our hobby, right? But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Appreciate your time. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. I do appreciate everything you guys do. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.